So this is a single instance field, you see here. Single instance field. So when I'm choosing a single instance field, the options will be changed a little bit. So now you see, I don't have an option called any in the selection list here. I had this option, any in the selection list, because this was a multi-instance field. So if you want to compare a single instance field with the list of values, then you will choose any in the selection list. So here you have option any and not in the selection list. Therefore this field. You had option any in the selection list or none in the selection list, but for a single instance field we have in and not, so same way. If I want to make a comparison, both ways it means the same, but it's just that for multi-instance field. They have given some, select all workers with your field names in the columns attribute that you have given, where company hierarchy equals the list of values or one value, and then if we have an or here, so we are building, and where is cause. This condition in the or we are mentioning cost center. Cost center is equals to, let's say, just choose any random value, whatever comes. I don't know what kind of data. No, let's not choose the negative, at least. I'm not sure what data this has. I'm just choosing some random values. Maybe we will not even get the output. So, just for the understanding of the condition, my worker belongs to this company hierarchy. Or my worker belongs to this cost center. So this is if I don't enter a bracket here. So my worker will be checked for the company hierarchy, whatever is being prompted. So either of these conditions gets true and my worker will be in the output. But let's say, if I want to make it a little complex, and if I want to say this is not just a simple or so either, my worker should be part of this company hierarchy. If not, I will be checked with an or condition, wherein I'm going to say that if he's part of this company hierarchy, that's fine. But if he's not part of this company hierarchy, and I'm being asked to check or condition, then it should not just be, or I want to make it more stringent, that if the worker is part of this company hierarchy, it's fine. But if they are not part of this company hierarchy, then the rule should be more stringent. That, along with the cost center checking, I want to check something else as well. So let's say, I say company. Again, it's a single instance field. In this election, or if you want to just compare it with any other operators. If you want to say, is not empty. So, and I will put a bracket here now, so this is like a query. So here what will happen? My condition will be checked if the worker is part of this company hierarchy, or if he's not part of this company hierarchy. What it will be checked. He should be part of the cost centers along with this list. And his company should not be empty. He should be assigned to at least some company. So for, and this only condition is checked. I created the bracket because I knew that this condition is in my mind. I have been given that, along with the checking of the cost center. I should also have to check the company. So it's like the exceptions that we create. So we are saying that workers were belonging to this company hierarchy. They should be part of the output, but we also want to include some more workers. Maybe you do not have this company hierarchy. But since they are part of this cost center, so they are part of this cost center, and if they have a company assigned, then we still want to include them. So it's like a flexibility. Also you are giving with a more stringent rule wherein you are saying, one condition is fine because, let's say, majority of the 9. So what this condition functionally mean. What this condition functionally means is that, let's say, 90% of the population will be satisfying this particular condition. So 90% of the workers, they will be passed with this condition and they will be part of the output. But remaining 10% of the workers will not be belonging to this company hierarchy. But still, I want them to be part of the output, but not just like that. They have to satisfy all of these conditions. It could be more ends. I can just keep on adding, and that in this case it will check the cost center company and maybe let's say they should be hired before this in this state, or they're hired. So I can keep more and then I'll add my bracket here instead of here. So it is like simple and is getting checked, but for an or. I'm checking more that along with this. This also should be checked for the worker to be eligible for my output. So this can be as complex as you want to make it. It will totally depend on what the requirement is you are being given. This is a very frequent case that you might get to have these conditions build based on different people can get supervisory conditions, company cost center, data dates, hire dates, particular worker between particular hire dates, and all. So could be anything to everything condition that you can build here in your filter. But all those conditions and you filled. How does your prompts get populated from your filter? That's also we have learned here. It's in my prompt now. I think it will get. I'm tired of this tenant. Sushma has not joined us. Okay. Move it. So now I'll go to the subfilter. So we understood. Filters is from my primary business object and I can edit here. My filter will control the count of workers in my report. So in this filter, whatever we have built for the testing, if the worker is not satisfying this filter, then they will be not part of the output. Subfilter is something which we are creating on the related business objects, which is why you see a add button. You can create as many subfilters as many related business object you want to use for your conditioner. Which is where you have to specify your business object, that is, your related business object based on which you are actually applying your filters on. So let's say, my filter is on the dependence info. So, as previously we discussed a little bit on this, that the subfilter will be applied to your related business object, which will not hamper the worker coming from the output, but rather it will only filter the related business object or related business object data to be coming in your output or not. But even though if this dependent condition is being not satisfied, your worker will still be part of the output, with maybe 0 dependent rows or something like that. So your subfilter getting executed, you have the dependent business object. And here let's say, you want to create a condition wherein only female dependents should be part of the output. I think it was created by me only in the last session. So here we have a condition wherein we are checking that the dependent's gender should be female. So if the dependent is of gender female, then those dependents should be part of my output. So, if you see, here I have a field which is created on dependent business. Object. I cannot call a worker business object field on my dependent business, because here I have defined the business object. So I will only be allowed to create condition, and it makes sense as well, because my business object here is dependence. So now I am filtering the data on dependence. So the data, the Workday delivered fields, and the further calculated fields that I am creating will be created on my dependent business object only because now I want to filter the data from some another table, which is actually dependent table. So all my fields should now be part of the dependent table. If I want to put a condition on the worker table, then I have the filter. So all the fields and the conditions that you are going to create, that should be created on this business object which you are using here. So see here, in the calculated field, we have created the field dependent and the gender field is for the dependent, not for the worker. So you see here, automatically, when you have chosen the business object as dependent, you are getting the gender field of dependent. Only then you are comparing it with the list of values which are configured in Workday as female. And you have created. We will discuss this in the calculated field section, but since it is already created, so I'm just showing you. So here I'm saying that my gender of the dependent should be female. This is already if you see the type of field. Maybe it's not visible, highly visible to you, but it is like AT, and then pipe and then F. So it is AT and F field, which is called as Boolean field in Workday. So T pipe and F. So true-false field. And this is how we write the nomenclature of true-false field, CF, calculated field space, TF. That is true-false field, and it is the type of true-false field when you will discuss the calculated field, we will discuss. So this is like a Boolean field. So this Boolean field is checking the condition that gender is equal to gender in the selection list, female. So if the dependent's gender is female, it is going to return true. So it is already checking the condition here, and this is a Boolean field for whichever dependent satisfying this condition. This calculated field will return either true or false. If the dependents are satisfying this condition, the value returned by this field will be true. If they are not satisfying this condition, then the value returned will be false. So now this value, I have to compare here that the value of this field now, since this is a Boolean field, so Boolean field can either contain yes or no. So how do I compare with the operator?